Annie! Annie! Oh my god, I don't know what to do.
Mom? What's wrong? Is it something serious?
Honey, don't be surprised. But I have some big news.
Do tell, do tell.
Well, actually, the truth is...
Don't keep me waiting. Hurry up and spit it out.
Well, you're going to be a big sister.
What? I'm going to be a sister? You mean to say...
Yes, that's right. I'm pregnant. It's a little bit embarrassing, I know. But really, it shouldn't be anything to be ashamed about.
How far along are you?
I just had my 3-month appointment the other week. The doctor says the baby is doing fine.
Can you tell if it's a boy or a girl yet?
The doctor said it's still a little early to be 100% certain, but at the moment it looks like it's a girl. You're going to have a little baby sister to play with.
Really? I'm going to get a little sister. That's fantastic. I can't believe it. You're not joking, are you?
No, I'm not joking. I have a baby in my tummy, and that means you're going to be a big sister. I know it may seem strange. After all, you are going to be 15 this year. The age gap might be a little bit of a hurdle for everyone. But that won't change the fact that she will be your little sister. Do you think you will be able to accept her into our family and into your life?
Absolutely! I'm so excited already! I've only just found out about it now, so it really hasn't had time to sink in. But for the longest time, I have been secretly hoping for a younger brother or sister. I had sort of given up on that dream. But here it is. It's becoming a reality.
Whew! I'm so relieved to hear you are excited. After all, with such a big age gap, I thought there would be some reluctance to accept a new family member. But now that I think about it, I don't know why I was worried at all. You have always been such a great daughter. I should have known you would have been so happy for us.
Sure, I was a little bit surprised at the news, but of course I am ecstatic. It must be difficult for you in these early stages of the pregnancy, right? I learned a little bit about pregnancy in PE class this year. Did you go through morning sickness? Were your legs bloated? You could have told me. To be honest, if you did have any problems, you hid it very well. I had no idea you were pregnant at all.
I see. You are at that age where they teach you about these things at school, aren't you? Yes, I had a little bit of morning sickness early on. Actually, when I was pregnant with you, my morning sickness was quite severe too. So I am expecting that it will be tough this time around as well. I'm preparing myself to be a little bit off color for the duration of the pregnancy.
Well, no matter what happens, you know I'm here to help you out. I'll do whatever I can to support you. I'll help out around the house even more. And when you're really not feeling well, I'll do everything. You can rely on me. I may not have experience, but like you said, I'm going to be 15 this year.
Thanks, Annie. I knew I could count on you. I'm so glad you've grown up to be such a great person.
If it's for the family, you know I would do anything.
That's fantastic to hear. Actually, now that you mention it, there is one thing I need to ask of you. It's a bit difficult to ask.
Go ahead, Mom. Ask anything you want. I'm happy to help out.
Well, the truth is, I need you to help out the family a little more.
Sure. As I said, if it's for the family, I'm happy to do it.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you for being so understanding. You're a wonderful daughter.
Okay, sure, but you still haven't told me what it is you want me to do.
Oh, yes, that's right. It's nothing much. Just that on your way home from school tomorrow, and from now on, I need you to get a part-time job.
Did you say a part-time job?
Yes, that's correct. You don't have any after-school commitments, do you?
Well, no, not really.
Great! So that's settled then. You'll get a job. Oh, and just one more little thing.
Yes, Mother?
Once you found a part-time job, we will need you to work quite a few hours. So you may need to drop out of school at the end of the year.
What? I can't keep going to school?
You can finish up your final year of compulsory education remotely if needed. But from next year, we will probably need the extra income.
But what about my future? I had plans to go on to university.
Yes, we all had plans, but things change. I, for one, didn't plan to get pregnant at this age. So you see, we all have to adapt.
But why does that mean I have to drop out of school?
Well, if you have been paying attention in class, you will know that giving birth and raising a child is not free. And I'm not proud to say it, but money is a little tight right now, and I don't know that we have enough to cover your continuing education costs whilst raising a baby. And that's why we will need you to help out wherever possible. One area being financially.
Are you saying our family is in a bit of a financial crisis?
I guess you could say it that way. I wasn't going to say crisis, but it's definitely a pinch. If you recall, your father lost his job last year when his company downsized. He's been trying really hard to find a new job, but so far has been unsuccessful. So for the past few months, we have been living off our savings. I don't know how much longer we can survive on that alone. Even if he does find a new job soon, it's going to take a while to rebuild the savings.
What? That's definitely a crisis situation.
Yes, perhaps you are right. Anyway, like I said, we really wanted for you to continue your education. We also dreamed of you attending and graduating college. But you see, now with this little baby in my tummy, we have to refocus and do what's best for her. I'm sorry to force this upon you, but it's for the best of the family. If we continue living the way we are, with an extra mouth to feed, we may not have enough to pay the rent.
Are you serious? We're really in that bad a situation?
For the moment, we are okay, but I can't guarantee what will happen in the future. We considered moving to a cheaper place, but with property prices nowadays, it's impossible to find a big enough place at a low enough price. After all, our family is growing, so it would be pointless to downsize now.
But if we don't move and find somewhere cheaper, we're going to run out of money and not be able to pay rent anyway. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, I'm afraid that's the way it looks.
Okay, I'll do it. If it's for the family, I'll do it. I'll go and grab a local paper. There's normally a classified section in the back with part-time job listings. I'll find a job that will allow me to work enough hours so we can at least afford to live. Even if it means not finishing my higher education. It's okay. We can make it work.
Annie! Thank you, thank you! I knew you would come around and see my point of view. Actually, you don't need to get the paper. I've already spoken to a friend of mine who runs a news agency. They've been looking for people to help deliver the newspapers. He said you can start tomorrow morning. The shop opens at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.?
Yes. You can get a couple of routes delivered before you go to school. It's for the family. We are depending on you. Go, go, Annie! Go, go, Annie!
Hey, Annie! Check it out!
Check out what, Marissa?
I just received a letter from the HR division at Google. I sent my CV to them earlier this year, and it looks like they were impressed. They said normally there is a long recruitment process, but given my college entrance scores and continued high grades, they're willing to give me a job straight away.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
I know! Isn't it cool? I don't graduate till the end of the year, but after that it looks like I'm set. They said there will be a job waiting for me as soon as I graduate.
That is wonderful news. I'm so glad for you.
Yes, well, I do deserve it after all. Given that I graduated high school with such good grades and have been studying so hard at college. Not that you would know what it means to study hard and graduate from school. The heads of Google must have been so impressed by my resume that they waived the first stages of interviews. They probably spoke to my professors and made up their mind from that. I guess that's what happens when you attend such a reputable educational academy. If I had dropped out of school like you did, this opportunity would never have come to me.
I see.
Yes, you are well deserving of it. And you may or may not know, but Google operates a little bit differently to your standard company. They treat their staff very differently. For example, they have a welcome ceremony for new recruits every year. I've heard that a lot of places do this. But whereas most places hold a stuffy assembly type ceremony, Google actually throws a proper dinner party. They even allow new staff members to invite their family along.
That suddenly sounds like an interesting company to work for. I've never heard of a welcome party for new members of staff, let alone a party where family members can join. And the company pays for it all?
Yes, indeed. This company is at the head of its field. They know how to look after their staff to keep them happy. Not that my school dropout sister would know anything about how companies work in general. The company's unwritten motto is, "Your family is our family." It's a really warm and friendly place to work at. For a while now, they've been holding a welcome party like this. This way, the whole family can see how the company works and enjoy the atmosphere a lot more. As the saying goes, a happy worker is a hard worker. The welcome party is a high point on the annual calendar.
So that means I can join the party too? When is it? I'll make sure my calendar is free. I'm really looking forward to seeing your new workplace. Do Mom and Dad know about this already? I'm sure they will be over the moon too. I'm really looking forward to seeing how such a large company throws a party. I wonder if they'll have one of those champagne fountains. You know, where the glasses are all stacked and the champagne flows like a waterfall from the top?
Well, it's too bad that you will never find out.
What do you mean?
Well, perhaps you could find out if you came along. But to be honest, I'm a little bit ashamed to introduce you as my high school dropout sister. So I think it's best if you don't come along.
What?
Yes. If my new colleagues were to find out that my older sister didn't even go to college, let alone finish her higher education, I'd never hear the end of it. All of the new staff graduated at the top of their classes and come from well-respected families. How do you think they would react when they found out that my family was not so well off? I'd be the laughingstock of the company.
I highly doubt that your educational history has any bearing on your ability to join a party. Why would you even need to tell anyone your educational background?
You don't need to tell anyone that you're uneducated and poor. It's a dead giveaway from your general demeanor. People would just look at you and automatically know.
I highly doubt that too.
Of course you would. But it's true. As soon as word got out that my older sister was so less educated than me, I would automatically have a black mark against my name. It would take me years to earn any promotion. So that's why I don't want you to come to the party. Lowly educated people need to stay home and look after the house.
Annie, did you hear the news? Our wonderful daughter, Marissa, took your father and me out to dinner at a fancy restaurant. She received her first paycheck and wanted to pay us back for everything we have done for her. Hang on. Why wasn't I invited to that? I was wondering where everyone was and why no one was answering my calls. So you were all out together having such a great time? Why would you be invited? It was your father and I who raised her. That's why she wanted to treat us to dinner. Yes, you may be her parents, but wasn't I also very involved in raising her? Not just physically, but also financially. The least you could have done was to have included me as a member of the family and invited me too. What? When exactly did you help out with raising her? You did little more than just being her big sister. Are you serious? And in comparison to you, Marissa has turned out to be a daughter to be proud of. Not only did she finish high school, she graduated from a top college and now works for Google. Your father and I are so proud of her. Unlike you, the high school dropout with a low education. I don't recall you donating your first paycheck to the family. What? I don't know how you two grew up to be so different from each other. I guess it goes to show that a good education can make a difference. One, a college graduate. The other, a lowly educated school dropout. It's only natural that they both grow into totally different adults.
Hang on, Mom. Hold it right there. How can you say that to me? I've worked tirelessly for this family for years on end. How can you brush that all off now just because Marissa has started working?
You claim to have worked tirelessly for this family. Would you like to explain how, exactly?
With pleasure. I don't see why I need to, though. You may recall I only dropped out of school at your request. It may have only been a part-time job, but all the money that I earned went straight into the house savings account. Pretty much every cent that I earned went straight into the house funds. How can you so conveniently forget that now that your pride and joy daughter has graduated college?
Well, it wasn't a very memorable amount, was it? After all, most parents look forward to seeing their child's first paycheck. A well-educated graduate. Your sister brought in quite a sizable amount for her first month. High school dropout you, on the other hand.
This is so unfair. I did everything you asked of me and more. How can you now say that it wasn't enough? I was only 15 and thrown into work. I've worked endlessly for over 20 years now just to see this family survive. I've paid the rent on your home every month since then.
So what? Why are you making such a big deal of that now? You really are a piece of work.
A piece of work? Me?
Of course! It's only natural for kids to look after their parents. And as you were the only one earning decent money, it was on you to provide for the family. You've been leeching off us for the longest time. Since you turned 20, you've been living in the apartment above the garage, after all. It's strange that you think you should be able to live there rent-free.
That makes no sense. You are the one that forced me to drop out of school and get a job. How can you now say that I was leeching? I've been paying the rent for the entire house since I was 15. What happened to make you think of me like this? What did I do wrong?
Who are you to be acting so high and mighty? Just because you gave a little bit of money to the family. You should take a leaf out of your sister's book. She didn't need to be told. And the other day, she came to me and said she is going to start paying rent to stay at home now that she is working. Just until she gets settled in at work and has the time to look for a new place. She offered to pay $100 a month. She's such a good girl. She's so considerate and thoughtful of her parents.
You're kidding me, right? She's offering to pay you $100. Are you sure she didn't miss a decimal point there?
No. She even gave me the cash already. I have it in my hands. A crisp $100 bill.
That's so unfair that she can buy your love and affection at such a cheap price. Do you have any idea just how much money I have been contributing every month to keep you guys in that house? Now that I look back, I think I must have been crazy to have kept paying.
That's not very fair of you to expect your younger sister, who has only just become an adult, to be able to contribute the same as you. After all you are doing is providing the rent money. It's not like we are in your debt or anything. If you're going to start taking that line, maybe we don't need your support. If it stops you acting so high and mighty, we don't want your money anymore.
Okay, that suits me fine. Thank you.
What?
I said thank you. I'm going to stop the automatic payments to the real estate agent.
Hang on. You don't need to be so hasty about it.
Too late. I just went online and canceled the automatic payment plan. Don't worry, I didn't cancel the lease or anything. You just need to pay the rent in cash. From what I see on the homepage, you can arrange for the agents to come and collect the money from you if you like. You don't need to go anywhere. How convenient is that? All you need to do is have the money ready.
What? Hang on. Stop messing around right now. I know you're only joking. Is this your way of getting me back for not treating you like a princess?
I guess you could see it that way, but I'm not joking.
Why would you do that? Why would you suddenly cancel the rent payments?
I don't know why you're so surprised. After all, you told me to do exactly that thing only a few minutes ago. You obviously don't think very much of me. You think I'm just a way to get free rent. But if you only see me as the rent money, losing it really shouldn't affect you too much in your day-to-day life.
You are right there. Your father is working again anyway. He earns a very nice wage, thank you very much. In addition to that, Marissa is now working for a reputable company. Our future looks good.
That's good to hear. This might be a time for me to make a clean start too. I'm going to move out of the apartment into a new place of my own. It might be better for all of us if we just stopped communicating. Thank you for all you have done for me till now. And goodbye.
Sure. Go on, move out. I don't know where a lowly educated school dropout is going to go, but I wish you well.
Hey, sis? What's this all about? Something's wrong. There's a problem with the rent.
What are you talking about? And I thought I told Mom I didn't want to hear from any of you again.
Yes, forget about that for a moment. There's bigger problems.
Go on. Tell me about them.
Well, the real estate agent just came by to collect this month's rent.
There's nothing strange about that. I told Mom that's what's going to happen.
Yes, but he wanted $5,000 for the month's rent.
I'm still not seeing what the problem is. He was simply doing his job, collecting rent money from the tenants.
Yes, but $5,000? That's unheard of. How can rent be that expensive?
It's a totally reasonable price. It's been that much for years now.
Surely not.
Well, it wasn't always that price, but it has slowly risen over the years. Fortunately, it hasn't changed for about 5 years now. I guess maybe it's due to go up again soon?
But how can it be? How can this old place be so expensive? More importantly, are you telling me that you have been paying this rent every month all by yourself?
Yes, that's right. Ever since you were still a baby inside Mom's tummy. Finances were a little bit tight. Dad had just been laid off from work, and there wasn't enough money to pay the rent as well as raise you. So Mom asked me, no, she begged me, to drop out of school and start working to help pay the bills. It didn't take too long for Dad to find a new job, but for some reason, we just kept the arrangement of me paying the rent and all the other money going into the house. Way back then, the rent was only around $2,000 a month. But when you were around 10, if you remember, they started developing the surrounding areas, and that caused prices to rise pretty quickly. I have a funny feeling that Mom doesn't even know how much the rent is now.
Really?
Anyway, it has nothing to do with me anymore. I wish you all the best in making enough money to pay the rent. That shouldn't be a problem, right? After all, you do work for the great company that is Google, right? Annie, what's this all about? Since when has the rent on our place been $5,000? Marissa just told me about it. That's the first I've heard of it. I hate to break it to you, but every time the rent went up, I made sure to inform you. When it became clear that the prices were going to keep rising, I distinctly remember recommending that you make an offer to the landlord to purchase the house outright. Either that or we move and find somewhere cheaper. Really? I don't remember that. I don't know how you could forget. Every time I mentioned it, you would reply, "We need to save money for Marissa's schooling. We can't afford to waste money like that." And other times, you would say, "This is Marissa's childhood home. How could we ever leave it?" All you ever did was make excuses. I guess none of my advice actually sank in. Is that so? That doesn't sound like me. Even after Dad got a new job and we started having a little bit of money left over at the end of each month, you still insisted on me paying the rent. Perhaps you just got used to having someone else pay for you. You never once offered to help out. Not even a little bit. And here I was paying all of my wage to make sure we had a roof over our heads. And you were spending all of your own money on Marissa only. The only reason you could afford to send her to high school and then on to college was all because you didn't have to worry about paying rent.
And what was it you said to me the other day? All you are doing is providing the rent money? I think we can all agree now that I was providing a lot more than just financial support. You all considered me nothing more than a lowly educated school dropout. I was nothing but a joke to you all.
What are you whining about now? Also, how on earth is a dropout like you able to afford $5,000 a month in rent? You're not involved in any illicit activities, are you? Surely that's the only way you could ever make any money. And if that's what's actually happened, that has to be way worse than being a high school dropout. Do I have to be worried about the police coming around here soon?
There you go, off on one of your wild fantasies again. You do realize that it is possible for people without a college education to earn good salaries. Some of us easily earn $200,000 a year.
200,000? Do you mean to say?
Yes, that's right. I earn roughly that amount every year. That's why I was able to afford the rent every month. You see, it's not necessary to work in a large corporation to earn a decent salary. And a college education is not always held in such high regard in the real world. Even in a small to middle-sized corporation, if you work hard and work your way towards near the top, you can easily earn that much. And I emphasize near the top. The higher you climb, the more you can earn.
No way. And that's where you are? Near the top? Are you honestly telling me that you earn $200,000 a year? That can't be possible.
It is very possible. I know it's possible because I'm doing it. When I was forced to leave school early and start working, I began learning how to work hard and save. It wasn't just the money I was earning, but also the life skills to help me get ahead in the workforce. Simply because I had a head start on my peers, it allowed me to get ahead in the workplace and climb the ladder a lot faster. While everyone else was still at school studying, I was learning practical skills that would be far more valuable and beneficial than any piece of paper from the Board of Education.
And that has led to you earning $200,000 a year?
It was partly that, and also a bit of luck. One day early on, I caught the eye of the CEO. He must have been impressed with what he saw as he offered me a new position with more responsibility and naturally a higher salary. In this new position of middle management, I was able to hone my skills and get ahead even quicker than the others around me. It wasn't long before I was in the upper management team.
But surely that's not how the world works. How can a high school dropout with no education climb so high in the business world? If anyone was to succeed, surely it would be your younger sister. I don't get it. You? $200,000? And being able to afford $5,000 rent a month without batting an eye?
Yes, it does seem strange to me, too, that I could continue that life for so long. But it's okay. I realized my mistakes, and now I intend to live my life to the fullest.
Hang on, Annie. Don't make any rash decisions. I know there have been some misunderstandings in the past, but they were nothing more than that. Some things were said that were not correct when given the proper context. I realize my mistakes now. Now that I know the truth, I will never ridicule you again. I'm so sorry about ever hurting your feelings. So I'm begging you, please come back. The flat out the side is still as you left it. You can move back in there and we can continue living as a happy family.
Who in their right mind would agree to move back after all you have said? From now on, you only have one daughter. Please enjoy your happy family life with the apple of your eye, Marissa. Have a nice life, Mother. After that, I went on to delete all contact information for my family and block them. I was finally free to live my own life. All the money that I earned stayed in my own pocket. It feels so good to be able to do what I want when I want. As for my parents and sister, it would appear that their life was not as easy as they were expecting. I think they were looking forward to enjoying Marissa's salary whilst I continued to pay the rent. I found out later that my father had already taken early retirement, as they imagined they would be rolling in cash. But as you know, things didn't work out as they were hoping. When I moved away and they lost their free rent, their financial situation got a little bit tighter. On top of that, Marissa had only just started working, and her salary for the first year was nowhere near what they were expecting it to be. I think I heard she earned just enough each month to cover the rent only. So they had no disposable income at the end of each month. Despite all of that, my parents refused to consider moving to a different house. They can be so stubborn. My father considered making an offer to purchase the house, using his retirement funds. But even that was not enough. In order to cover the funding, Marissa had to take out a loan from the bank. To help with the repayments, Mom and Dad also had to go back to work, both of them finding part-time jobs. Only then were they able to return to some sort of normal life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment. Bye!